Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Online Teaching with Jay. In this episode today, I'd like to address the idea of taking attendance online. Now, from what I understand, some schools are using their online platforms such as Veracross. There's also ManageBack for IB schools, I believe, or maybe just simply that school's platform. But you might be in a situation where you don't have a platform to take attendance with, and you also probably don't want to spend time at the beginning of a Zoom session or a Google Meet session just sort of counting faces that are on the screen. So I want to offer two strategies today that can help you take attendance online that you can later submit to your administration if you need to, or that you then put back into the online attendance form that your school is using, so you're not wasting time at the beginning of the period. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you two quick tools you can use to take attendance online. Both are using the simple Google Forms function. The first one is a simple attendance form, and the second one is like a do now or an entrance slip that you would use at the beginning of class as a way of having a formative assessment. So on the screen right now, you'll see I've titled this Formulaire de Présence attendance form. I teach French. So what I've done is I've asked the form by clicking over here on the settings to collect email addresses. And this will collect email addresses automatically from your students if you're in a Google Suite for schools. I think most schools have that. And therefore, it makes it easier when you click on collect email addresses. It already collects the email address because it recognizes the student's email address from the school domain. So once I've done that, I set up my form really easily. I've decided that I want to use this form again multiple times, so I've put all my classes down, and the students will have to click whichever class that is. All responses are required. Then they skip to the next section. I've given them a simple little question that asks them what day of the week it is. Put that in there just because I'm lazy. I don't want to have to read the date. I can look at the day of the week. And then obviously the final question is I am present, and there's only one option. So they have to click on that and submit it. So when you look online, we'll go back here to the beginning. They'll enter their email address if obviously they're not in a Google Suite. Then they'll choose their class. They click on next. They click on the day it is. They click that they're present, and then they click submit. And of course, they can submit another response again and again. The other option is a simple do now entrance slip. As I mentioned, same thing. You're going to collect email addresses, ask a couple of questions. Here I put some about the weather, as if the students were learning about the weather. And then maybe like a question I have about yesterday's material is, and then you'll see all those questions sort of pop up in your responses, of course, once the students start submitting them. And it can give you an idea before you even Zoom or before you even Google Meet with the students. It can give you an idea of where their strengths, where their weaknesses are. So now what does that look like once you've submitted a form submission? You'll be able to see over here the responses, but you can also click on a Excel spreadsheet collection of the responses. And what that'll give you is a really simple breakdown of the timestamp and the email address, so you'll recognize your student through that, their level, and so on and so forth, and I am present. And this will help you determine whether they're there on time or they've come into the class late, so you can later follow up with them and say, hey, I noticed that you've been coming late to class, what's going on, and so on and so forth. Finally, what are you going to do with all this? Well, you're going to share it on your Google Classroom on the stream. And so you can type in here, click on the link below, submit your attendance class. And you're going to want to add the link that the students are supposed to see. So we have it here. So let's select that all, copy it, and then add link, paste it in there, add the link. So the students will be able to just basically click on it and fill it out. And then what you can do is reuse this post and schedule it as many times as you want so that you can have it ready for every class at the beginning of every class. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching yet another episode of Online Teaching with Jay. Please leave your comments below if you have any other suggestions with regards to taking attendance online. Stay safe out there, wash your hands, practice social distancing, and I'll see you in another episode of Online Teaching with Jay.